Yeah, of course, plan, it's a 3 month planning coming together, and I believe, like all teams, it's going to be a couple of games into the competition before you're really going to, get back to full potential again. We're very realistic about it. We ended off really well last year, but it was also a process. It was building an innings in a cricket game, and I think we're going to be smart about it and just build the innings again. I think it will be important for us and for everybody to understand that we can't just take off where we ended off. We have to settle in the competition where there's a lot of expectation, and to play to where we're at this stage and to our strengths. But I'm satisfied with the preparation. Obviously, everybody changed really, really hard in the pre-season. It was really nice to start off not at zero like we did maybe a season ago. So there's a lot of players that's played Super Rugby now, and they know what the intensity is going to be like and what the ask is. So in that way, in that fashion, we're also prepped. So looking forward now to get the competition underway. We know that they're a very well coached side. First of all, they've got quality players. I think the amount of games played in Japan is not enough for them to get over here exhausted. So no, we're definitely not going to walk into that trap. I think it's going to be about what we can do early in the season. I'm sure that most of the other coaches will reply in the same way. If we concentrate too much on what the Lions bring, obviously we want to be as prepared as possible, but it will be really important for us to find our feet, especially because it's a home game. So it doesn't matter if they bring 15 Springboks or not. It's still going to be about how we play and what we do properly. Yeah, I think the reason we brought him in made it all the qualifications you just mentioned. He's got another foot and he's a strong physical guy. I think his prep was a little bit interrupted with one or two niggles during the pre-season. So I don't, to also take a bit of pressure off the guys that he needs to settle in a team that's been playing a certain style. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big match for him to become a real cheetah in the sense that to be part of the system and part of the team. So he's a quality young player, and it's somebody that can obviously learn a lot in this competition, and I'm sure that he will also develop and becoming a better player. So excited to have him part of us. I think to play him at 12 this weekend is good. It takes a bit of responsibility off him. At 10 you've got to make some good decisions, and I just think the main thing will just be to put him out there and just play to his best ability without thinking too much. Of course, I'm sure they have also taken note of it. So they've probably worked hard at it during the pre-season. So yeah, of course, tried to it was actually easier the last 2 years in the sense that there wasn't much rain about. Suddenly I had to use all my experience from Europe through wet training fields and rain while you're training, and obviously I think it forced us to know that we have to be another plan as well, and we've always had it, but maybe it wasn't never necessary to spend so much time on it. So yeah, obviously we made a plan to manage wet weather rugby as well, but I believe the sun will be out on Saturday. It will be a pleasant day, and hopefully the people will come out and enjoy a game that's been played at a top quality pace. Look, the most important thing for me was that we have 54 players now capable of playing Super Rugby. It doesn't make them Super Rugby players, but they are capable to play. Now we've lost Sean Fenter now on Thursday, and suddenly a guy like Zima Kabela moves in, and I've got all the confidence in the world, same with Huggy. I mean, Jacques du Toit was the regular second Duke last year, and Huggy's come in, and Joseph Dwyer was still hobbling around. And if you look at the prop situation, locks, Carl Wagner is still has played most of the rugby, and he's not even in the mix. So centre wise, Smalley and Franco Smith will come back later. There's a lot more depth regarding players that can play Super Rugby. Now to develop into Super Rugby players is obviously the next step, But I want to state that we're not going to try and use the word build and develop this year. We're all about execution and trying to win and be a better team every week. So, but there is still a margin of improvement, as I feel most of the South African teams have or needs to do. And I believe that in this season we're going to see a lot of the youngsters that last year played the first time in all franchises in South Africa making a step up and being a little bit more mature in the roles that they fulfill on the field. Look, what I've seen from the Sharks and I've seen the Sharks, Bulls, the Stormers obviously, and obviously I prepped on the Lions, and we all know them, and I know they're the flagship team of South Africa. Even though we've won the Currie Cup last year, they are the team that, in the Super Rugby really produced the goods for South Africa, and I believe, they would love to take it another step forward. So all the other teams are adapting to what they've actually, put out there. So yeah, definitely a better, from what I've seen in the preseason. Obviously I've seen a different approach. I've seen I also with the rugby in Durban, I had conversations twice with all the other coaches, which we usually wouldn't have had in December, and also now in the past 2 weeks, and it's good to get understanding and what they've been working on, and it's obviously that they're all contributing and bettering rugby in South Africa. Yeah, like I said, the first thing I said is breakdown is going to make a big difference. So yeah, definitely noted. I think that was also the Lions' success last year. I think their breakdown is really good, well coached. I've often complimented Johan on that, and that made the difference for them. Ball retention. If you have the ball, 100% of teams without the ball don't score tries. So if you look after it. Obviously at the breakdown, it's important. I think that's something that New Zealand has proven over the last years. That the reaction to the ball carrier to win the ball first is maybe the important thing, and I think we're all adapting in that direction.
Yeah, I think there's a lots of expectations on us regarding the Currie Becker, and I think Super Rugby is one major competition that we all know we're not going to go and just start winning every match. We've got our realistic goals we want to set for ourselves and our teams, and I think we have the backing of the town, so definitely a good one.